Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's finally over, you guys. Halloween is finally over, so I feel like I could finally focus on other stuff. But before I start working on other crafts, I wanted to show you the flip through of what my October daily ended up looking like. Now, I will admit that it didn't turn out to be a daily because I was not able to record something every day for the month of October. I think I did pretty well. I did my best. So this is more like, it ended up being, maybe I should title it October Traveler's Notebook Flip Through, because like I said, I've said this before, but crafting is like third place. It's my family first, then my job, and then crafting. So there were a few days that I didn't get to record anything, but I still wanted to show you the final product. I do have here this box. I had a lot of leftover. I used a lot of the ephemera. I actually only have that left. I used a lot of the puffy stickers. I used some sequin, but I still have a lot left. I actually didn't even use any brads, which honestly I should have. So I'll probably either keep this or recycle some of this stuff for next year, or pass this along to a crafty friend so that they're able to use it next year. Maybe add a few things, obviously, to replace what I did use. So I just wanted to show you that I didn't use everything, but I did use some of it. Also, I ended up removing this. So these are just my trick-or-treat bag. If you guys remember, I just had it slid in there, and actually I feel like this may be able to fit in there now that I removed this notebook. So I ended up removing this, which is the composition notebook, because if I add it in here, it is super bulky that the spine of the notebook is overworked. So I ended up removing. I didn't record like a lot. This is just my to-do notes and ideas. And then the rest of the notebook is basically empty. So I feel like I could recycle this for next year or continue to use it. I don't really know. Honestly, I feel like I'm just gonna recycle for next year's Traveler's Notebook. This one's ready to go on the shelf. And then I'll just probably recycle this until next year comes around. And I'll probably start using it in January, because usually right around January is when I start planning Halloween. I know that's like super crazy, but my husband already made a suggestion of what's gonna be our theme for next year. He still has to convince the kids, but but if it is, they do agree on that, I just keep setting the bar higher and higher. So I feel like I'm gonna start earlier and earlier. So this one's gonna be separated from that. And like I said, here in my little bag, I just added my birthday cards. I am a Libra, so I just wanted to annotate everybody that took time to write me a card. I think this one I had in here. And like I said, I put them in my little trick-or-treat bag, but I also have a few extras that were not able to fit in here. So maybe they'll fit now that I removed that notebook. And just kind of add them there. But see, this one's like super big. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it in my keepsake box or just add a few in here. Maybe do it this way, like that. Like that, and keep those few ones in the back. So to make this easier, I am going to remove the notebooks so that you guys, I could do the better flip through. I feel like it looks a hot mess when I show it in the actual notebook. So you guys saw my bag. I am going to, nothing changed in my little pocket. I still have the little "You're So Corny" that ended up being more like a dashboard, maybe just like a little accent for my pocket page. And then here I just have a few left over of those stickers that honestly I'll probably remove and then just put on my Halloween for next year. So one thing I wanted to say is when I first created the notebook, I had this tag and this sticker up here, but the corners, because this is laminated, started peeling, and I didn't know. I tried to use like 2 different adhesives and the corners were still like peeling up, so I ended up removing it and kept it just with the design of the paper in there. So that's the only different thing from that. So I'm gonna move that aside and then bring our very first notebook. And like I said, I started out really good, making sure I made an effort to annotate every day, but then that became impossible for me because, of course, you guys already know, mom duties never end. So recorded the very first day of just me drinking my favorite creamer, which is the peppermint mocha. And you guys saw me do this layout. This is a picture of Mike and I walking towards a date. We had a breakfast date that day. And then this is a gigantic, is it a milkshake? It's like a heart attack waiting to happen. But it's from Marble Slab. I just took a picture of it. I ended up taking Adriana and me on a little, not like a little date, but just like a little something for us to do together. And we went and got some ice cream. She was super excited. And then we were actually going to Rack Shoes to buy her boots for her costume. And she loved them so much, she actually walked out of the store wearing them. And then I was like, hey, let's make a pit stop. Do you want to go to the ice cream? And of course, you think she's going to deny going to the ice cream store? So we made a pit stop and we got that. And then of course, we traveled up to North Carolina to celebrate my birthday at my favorite place, which is the Cheesecake Factory. And I just have pictures of the kids right here. We actually went to the Cheesecake Factory, and we also went to watch Venom, which is a movie that just so happened to be released on my birthday. So we went to go see it. Super, super excited about it. Here I was just recording Cholo going in to PetSmart for a bath and shower and haircut. And this is, well, you guys can barely see it, how fussy he went in and then how clean and fresh cut he came out. So that's that. Here is just a little picture of my baby girl first picture day at school. So I just captured a beautiful picture of her before. You know, it's a school picture day, but I still take my own pictures. For here, I just kept it very simple. Just added a little bit of like ephemera note cards. They're like old. I don't even remember where I got those from. But I do have another one over here in the pockets. I honestly don't remember where I got them from, but it was part of that collection. Let me move that back. Just left this little parchment paper blank, left this one blank. And then here, okay, this wasn't this year, you guys, okay? But these pictures have been floating around on my stack for like ever. And I had no idea what to do with them. So I was like, you know what? It's kind of like zombie theme. So let me just go ahead and put it on my notebook. This is an actual soldier that came into my office for some help, and I don't know how that conversation started, but he ended up being like an extra zombie on The Walking Dead, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love that show, can I take a picture? And then of course I was like, I didn't believe him at first, and he was like, no, for real. And I was like, you're lying, stop lying. And he showed me, and so I printed like a picture of what he looks like, obviously in with the professionals doing the makeup, and then him coming in that day to take a picture. Of course, it's like the first celebrity I meet. So anyway, so I just wanted to include that in this notebook. Here I recorded the DIY costume craft I did for my son. So he these, they sell them for real, you guys, and they're like maybe $500. And I was like, oh. I honestly initially was gonna go ahead and pay for it, and then I realized that it wasn't gonna happen, and I was like, you know what, maybe I could DIY it. So I went to Five Below, I got a $5 gym mat, and Mike helped me, and we created this together. So I was super proud, my little craft. Here, I'm just recording myself going back to the gym. Workout, yeah, I was scared. I'm just kidding, but just recorded like me going back to class and stuff like that. And then the rest of this notebook is just us attending the state fair that happened around mid-October. I should probably put the number because it definitely wasn't the 31st, but it was like mid-October, and just recorded pictures of us eating junk food and the kids on the rides. And then I made a little note. Adriana was the inspiration for this quote. Came in grumpy, left with a smile. And of course I explained in these 2 pages why she said that. I was in a bad mood, and part of that was because there was a football game in the downtown area, and guys, we waited like almost an hour and a half, 2 hours just to park at the state fair. And I was like, let's just go home, let's just go home. And I was like in such a bad mood, like I'm like so annoyed, and I was like grumpy. So my daughter, as we were walking out at the end of the day, she was like, Mom, you came in grumpy and left with a smile. And it just really taught me a lesson, you know, that you have to be able to not let the bad moments ruin your whole day. I don't know. You guys know what I mean? Like, you have to overcome. And we were able to recover that day, and all of us had super fun. So here I was just taking pictures of me and my son being a goofball, and that ended that notebook. So then on to another one, or the next one. For here, once again, I left this simple. I kind of love this little cluster. I'm not sure if I wanted to write anything, so I just because this one's too busy, so I just left this simple. Here I added 2 additional pictures of the state fair of my kiddos. Okay, you guys, I am going to have to finish the flip through in a little bit because my neighbors just started cutting grass and we could hear it. So let me take a 5-minute break, maybe longer. We'll come back. Okay, where was I, guys? Okay, I said about the fair, I think. I don't know where I was. Cholo drinking water every time. And, wow, now he decides to eat. And then here, just I put our little office decorations. I wasn't in the mood to decorate the office, but my coworker was like super excited, so just ended up taking pictures of the candy corn theme that we built for our office. This notebook has a lot of empty pages, and I purposely left them like that. I've never really tried, or not really tried. I guess what I'm trying to say is I've never really done a daily notebook. It's really hard for me, as you guys can see. I failed miserably. I failed miserably on my October daily because I'm just too busy with life, you know, and mom responsibilities. So I have a lot of empty pages. You'll see that in a little bit. So I thought that a good way to cover up some of those pages are to decorate them with, in this example, all the washi tape that I have. So this is all my Halloween washi tape. These are just little samples that I decided to put on a notebook. I do have more on another page, but I just figured it's an easy way to cover up the page and then at the same time decorate it for Halloween. So that's what I did here. For here, just celebrating Cholo's birthday is also in October, and he actually turned 12 years old. And of course, we wanted to record our little birthday celebration for him. And I put his picture here, but left this blank because once again, this is just a little bit more of my Halloween washi tape, and hopefully I get to grow my collection, and so I plan to add little strips of it in this section right here, especially because I like to buy washi tape and Halloween stuff after it goes on sale. So I have, that's this layout right here. I don't know what else to say about it. Here I just continued on with two layouts of Cholo waiting for his treat, and Adriana's holding on to his happy birthday cookie. And then just made a little bit, or maybe too much, of annotations and story about how much Cholo has come into our lives, to just be, I don't know, like just realizing that he's 12 years old made me realize, like, man, he's been there for 12 years of our lives. He shared so many memories that he's made and memories he shared with us. So I was just kind of reminiscent. Reminiscent? Is that a word? I'm sure it is. I was just kind of remembering every little sweet moment that he spent with us. So that's what all of that writing is about. I went a little bit too far or too long, but that's okay. Here is the beginning of our Halloween costumes and actual Halloween day. So for these, like, this is an actual picture from the video game that I pulled from Pinterest, and then that's the actual picture of my son. So as you can see, we did pretty good job matching that up. And then here, yes, even Cholo got to participate on our little Halloween. This is the actual dog meat from the video game, and of course this is our Cholo in character, and he loved going trick-or-treating, especially because there was a house that had like dog treats for all the little animals that were out with their families and stuff, and they even got some treats as well. Here is Adriana as Piper. This is the girl from the video game, and then this is just someone else that did the costume, and I saw her on Pinterest. So these two combined inspired, obviously, my daughter's character. And then here's my three little loves of my life right there. Just put a little sentiment down there. Just decided to draw. This is not my original art. I actually pulled it up from Pinterest, set it on my phone, and then just started drawing it the best I could. I used to draw a lot back when I didn't have kids. And then I just kind of stopped. I just didn't have the time for it. So I don't know, just picked it up one night when I had nothing else to do or was bored, and drew this guy and then drew this little guy. And I don't know, just thought I included in the notebooks, you know, just once again trying to fill the empty pages that I've had. I try to color him. Obviously you guys can see this one's outlined with green and a little bit of black here and there, but mostly I just left them how they were. I have no idea what I'm gonna do here, and you'll see as I move along that there's quite a few pages that I was like, okay, what else to do, right? So I'm thinking that I'm going to stamp my Halloween stamps and just stamp little images so that it fills the pages, and at the same time that will help me see what Halloween stamps I already have. So that's probably, honestly, 100% sure that's what I'm gonna do, but I don't know when I will have the time to do that. And I wanted to go ahead and upload this video before it's practically the end of November and I'm still doing an October flip through. So yeah, okay, so here is, I know because I just went on rambling, but here is the picture of John Hancock, which is obviously a character from the Fallout game. And then here is my husband's costume. Everything from his costume I got from Amazon. And that is a little story that I journaled here. It basically just goes on to say how patient and kind Mike is. I started to film his makeup. I don't know if you guys can see up close. And I did it with latex and toilet paper. And I started to film it because I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to film the actual trick-or-treating and the quest, the mission that we had. And Cholo's coming over here. Cholo, lay down, buddy. It was my first time doing it, and that's what these two little pages here just kind of talks about. It was my first time using latex and toilet paper to create like the skin falling off his face, because this guy's supposed to be dead. And it was my first time working with that. I started filming it somewhere in the middle. I got discouraged. I started doubting myself, and I turned off the camera. And Mike was like really encouraging, really patient. Sometimes he has faith in me even when I don't have faith in myself. And eventually, like, I ended up turning the camera back on towards the end, and I loved the results. I was like, oh my gosh, I did that. I was like super impressed with myself. I mean, I'm not a professional, but it came out pretty good. So anyway, so that's what all of this says basically. And then once again, I plan to use these empty pages just to stamp my Halloween stamps that I have. And then here is a final picture of the four of us. We don't have a selfie stick, so they don't always come out that great, but that's us. And then just going on all these long page. I journaled a lot on this notebook, but this one is basically just explaining like our mission, what we did for the Halloween, which was super cool, you guys. Maybe I'm just like a super nerd, but our mission was that Mike and Adriana were gonna be walking around the neighborhood, and me and Mike stayed home. Michael was in charge. We had like a basket, and we had those 3 baseball grenades that we created. And if a kid wanted a second load of candy, they had to make 1 out of 3 grenades hit it into the basket. So he was in charge of that game. and I was in charge of the quest, which is the mission. And so somewhere around the neighborhood, Mike and Adriana were walking around, and if somebody came over and said, I'm here for the quest, or stepped into our little circle on the ground and said they wanted to do the quest, then I would tell them, okay, somewhere around the neighborhood, John Hancock and Piper are walking around with dog meat. If you see them, you have to tell them that the vault dweller, which is me, requires payment. And this is all game related, you guys. Some of you may not even know it, but in the game, bottle caps are used as currency. So Mike had a load of 30 bottle caps, and he would send one back with each person. And when they came back to me, they earned a reward, which was gift bags that we created. So we created gift bags for kids, and then we created gift bags for adults, because adults got to participate as well and got adult prizes. So it's really cool. A lot of people were like super excited and complimented us, and hence the reason why I couldn't film, because I was so wrapped up into making sure the missions were running like they were supposed to. So that, in a nutshell, is what I explained right here. This is just an empty layout. I have no idea, just to leave it like that. Maybe more stamp. I have quite a few Halloween stamps, so I think I'm just gonna stamp little images and then color them just to keep it here. And then I ended the notebook with the Night of Halloween poem that I pulled from Pinterest as well. And that was our October daily, which was not really a daily, but I'm just gonna say it was. So I am going to put this one in the back because this one reflects the later days in October. And then this one's gonna go in the front where it originally was. And then I'm going to stick my little birthday cards. And I can officially, aside from adding my Halloween stamps to the empty pages, I am essentially going to call this project done. And that is my Traveler's Notebook October's flip through. Wait, I said that backwards. My October Traveler's Notebook flip through. Yay! Anyways, that's it for today, you guys. I hope that you enjoyed watching my crazy self in my layouts. And if you guys have any questions, you already know what to do. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you soon. Have a good one. Bye.